Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior. I got this from Big Bad Toy Store. This is the Transformers 2D series hook and long haul. So this is another part of the combiner. This is $89. Now $89. If you remember when I was reviewing Silver Bolt, and it was just one piece, I was balking at the price of $90. I thought that was quite expensive for one transformer, but that when I reviewed that piece, that actually kind of turned me around. I was so impressed by it, and I felt like the value was there in the price. This guy, we're gonna have to check and see, right? $89. That's basically $45 per transformer. And if you saw my earlier review of Scrapper and Bone Crusher, which for you guys will be several days apart, but for me, I literally just reviewed these two. I could not justify the difference between 25 and 35 on this one. I couldn't justify the $35 on this one. This one at 25 was okay. So now they're asking us to pay 45 on this one and 45 on this one. We'll see what's going on. Let me open it up and continue on with the review. All right, so there it is. That's what's coming out of the box. There's a lot of stuff going on in the box, I do have to say, but it's still $89, right? So let me put this part out of the way. I believe this works as a trailer hitch for long haul, but let me put him out of the way for now. He is solid though. He's definitely about the same heft as Bone Crusher, so I'm gonna say I can see that. I can see that going on. He's even heavier than Scrapper. Okay, so this one I'm assuming goes with long hook, and I'm assuming this guy's long hook because he's got a hook. And this would be long haul. And we'll find out what these are, but it's got that. I believe this could also be used as some sort of missile looking pods. Here are the two hands for Devastator. It has a hinge out over here, and technically it can hold the weapon, but it's fake because it's got this slot over here for the weapon itself, and it's just a peg, I guess, that you can push the hand in. This one, I believe it's part of the chest piece. Oh yeah, because I'm assuming this goes in like that. We'll just connect this two now. Makes me want to think that this is a connection somehow, but I'm not getting that properly. I don't know why this is more flush to me than this side. This side is something's... Oh, there it is. There's if you look at this raised tab, it's actually, you might think it's one long tab, it's actually short, and that kind of slides into this more thing here. If you don't do it properly, it's gonna look like it's off. See how like that? That's the way. That's the reason why. So okay, so let me put this aside. That's, I think, the chest piece for Devastator. Then it's got this, which I don't know what it's for yet, and then the two weapons. Is this a weapon? That's basic. Oh no, this key's in. Okay, so that's part of the weapon. That makes more sense. And I forgot now whose weapon this is. So, but we'll deal with that later on. So this is long haul, and this is hook. Yeah, this is hook, and this is long haul. And while we have them out here, we're gonna bring out Bone Crusher and Scrapper. So we can see right away that there is a size difference between the four. These two are slightly more bigger than these two. Even if we were to turn it aside, it's, even though Scrapper seems more substantial than Bone Crusher, he is also doesn't really compare to Long Haul, and maybe comparable in terms of length, width, and height to Long Haul. If I'm mixing up the names, I apologize. There's a lot of names that I'm unfamiliar with. And then we're gonna bring this one in, the trailer that attaches to Long Haul. As you can see, it's even more massive than these two. It's about the same size comparably to Long Haul. So let me put these two guys aside. And I'm assuming that in order to do this, just push him in these two. I guess you can kind of separate it. And attach them like that. The connection is not that good. As you can see, it's barely in there. And it's got to be held by however strong this connection is. It goes in. Okay, it does go in. You just got to make sure this is squeezed in tight. And you can kind of play with it. I guess you can. Here's the side of it. I guess in your mind, if you really want to justify why a dump truck, and it's not really a dump truck. Am I missing something here? Because shouldn't this be like empty? Anyway, as a long haul, his name's Long Haul, so I guess you can assume that as a construction vehicle, he might be hauling a large component like some sort of generator or something, a large equipment to the job site. I guess that kind of makes sense. Rolls pretty well, as you can see. Just play. This is actually quite fun to just keep doing this. I don't know why. And here's hook. What's going on with hook? Because I feel like this is sideways. Like look at that. See how this is more raised than this side? Like it's not properly transformed or something. I guess we can look into that some more later on. Yeah, it wasn't properly. It's like I feel it tabbing in a little bit more. Okay, so let's take off this extension from Long Haul and just look at Long Haul by himself. I mean, it looks like a big truck that's a dump truck. Is this untabbed? No, it's nothing to tab onto. It looks like a dump truck is what I'm saying, but there's no hollowness here. It's one solid piece, which kind of throws me off. Nice colors, vibrant colors, which is what I like. Okay, so he does kind of function. Well, okay. Dump truck. It works, but look at what happens to the wheels. So this is kind of like part of the transformation. So I'm pretty sure he's supposed to represent a dump truck, but there's nothing to put stuff in to dump in. Yeah, I'm complaining. It's not really a complaint. It's more of an observation. Nice Decepticon logo, silver, some grays, the cab. Here's the bottom with him picking out. This is weird. I don't know why this almost feels like this is metal. I'm sure it's not, but there's like, why did they paint this part and not this part? It's kind of weird. I guess we'll see more as I transform it into robot mode. Here's Long Haul over here. This design really kind of throws me off. I guess it just wasn't tabbed in properly. It does roll. Okay, this thing in the middle is really throwing me off. There's the cab for it. It's a secondary cab. Does this extend? It does not extend. Does this extend? Okay, at least this extends a little bit, the hook here. I think that's the maximum extension for it. At least the hook turns here. The cab doesn't. I think in real life this is supposed to turn. This does go up and down, but it's so tight. It's got a one big massive ratchet in there somewhere. It's so tight, and this tab is so shallow that when you're doing it, you're basically forcing it out of that location, and it will eventually untab itself. The form is there, or I should change that. The form is passable. This is honestly, on all of these, I think this is the most successful, but to be honest, the form in all four of them is passable in terms of the dump truck. That's why I'm not really feeling Devastator. Maybe, but again, I remember I'm buying these for the combiner part, so I just want to finish the combiner section. So let me go ahead and but so far right now, vehicle mode wise, I'm not feeling it. It's okay. Right now, vehicle mode wise, I'm gonna say the value of this one is 10. It's okay. Yeah. It's exactly what I expected, is what I'm saying. So let me go ahead and transform Hook, that's his name, Hook. Bring this out a little bit. I was told, bring that down. Bring this out like so. We're gonna there's a separation here, as you can see, so we're gonna untab that, and then we're gonna kind of lift it, hinge it up to this one just slowly, and there's a tab here and a slot over there, and like that. Now we're gonna flip it over here at the bottom, and we're gonna separate the arms out. Bring it up here to the side, You got the elbow, and then this we're gonna just bring it down as part of a shoulder guard, I suppose. And the next part is we'll just bring this off to the side over here for now to give us more clearance. I think you can separate the legs at this point. And once you do, we're just gonna kind of open this up on both legs, and we're just gonna shimmy this down like so. Forming the lower part of the leg, and then this one separate the actual foot from that, and that actually just goes to cover the lower leg. Right, something's going on. Oh, I separated it here too, and I think, yeah, I just kind of slipped that in there, and that's the foot over there. So we're gonna do that again. I'm just gonna separate the foot over here at this point, and we're gonna move this back. And you can see what I'm doing there. Bring this down like that, and we're gonna bring this back here again, and that's it for Hook. That's kind of interesting. Articulation wise, the head can go that much, a little bit better up and down over here. These two things in the back is going to severely restrict the movement of this arm. You have to move stuff out of the way, so I'm not a big fan of that. He can go that much. Yeah, even with that, you have to move certain things out of the way. That, I guess, the best one. There's the elbow right there. bringing out the arm. You can get more than 90 on the elbow bend. The swivel is on the bicep right here. Okay. And here's kind of weird construction over here. This must be, oh, this must be some sort of, oh, I know, this is part of the transformation. That's why it's weird like this. So we're not gonna touch this part. That's kind of confusing over here for me. The hips, the legs can go up to slightly more than 90. Forward, sideways, backwards, not a problem. You got a thigh cut over here that will give you full rotation. The knee, bend 90. I'm holding everything together just to make sure it doesn't fall off. The foot goes up like so, nothing down, and side rocker. And that's it for hook. And apparently this is his gun. I can easily hold. The face looks good. That's what I'm gonna give all these Constructicons credit for, is the face sculpt looks good. Everything else is kind of like passable. There's always a sacrifice somehow, and I mean, you know, you can pull off some pose. It's just really some really weird proportions. And again, in this case I say, well, it's a robot anyway, who cares? But yeah, that's hook right there. Let me go ahead and deal with long haul over here. Alright, so long haul seems to be pretty easy. I mean, we kind of saw it during the review of this one. It just pops it over like so. That's the leg, and it's already separating at the leg over there. I want to bring out the heel over here to give him a little bit more stability. And he's almost out. I think there's a tab. These arms are tabbed. There you go. Okay, so there's that tab over here, and then oh, look at that. That's part of the arm, it looks like. So just tab that in. Or I should say it's part of the shoulder or upper arm or something. And then we're gonna it keeps coming off. Interesting. Bring the hand out. Is that it for long haul? Maybe that's it for long haul. Like, I mean, pretty easy to transform. Yeah, I guess that's basically it for long haul. You're supposed to, there you go. Now it's snapped in, so that's properly transformed. And then this is kind of confusing for me. This looks like it's the knee, but MGO was saying that this should lock into that, like that. But that, I kind of, oh, there's another knee over here. For long haul. Okay. Is that the knee though? Or is this the knee? Because this kind of locks in too. Weird. Okay, so I prefer the proportions of this one than this one. At least this, I mean, he's a dump truck, so I guess it kind of makes sense that he should be wide and dumpy looking. But yeah, he really is dumpy looking. And then you have this gun over here and everything. Well, I'm surprised the head actually twists. Definitely goes a little bit up, nothing down. The arm, of course, not a problem going there. This connection over here is really weird because there's a ball joint over here that does the elbow thing, side to side, up to 90. The wrist, there's no, it just goes out. There's no movement whatsoever. So yeah, I just gotta make sure that could be annoying that he keeps untabbing. But like I said, I'm not really gonna have him transform. So I'm gonna untab this again because I'm really confused why this is painted. This thing, honestly, almost feel like it's die cast. Like this feels metal. I could be wrong, but it just feels metal to me. The shininess of it, the fact that it's painted. Why would you paint this part? You know, and it just feels feels heavy. And I'm so curious, but let me look at this some more. It can't be die cast because this is one piece. No, it's not die cast. There's no way. This is one piece to that. No, it's separate. I don't know. I don't know why they painted this. It just feels so weird. And the paint feels so different. Like it's like really like high grade paint compared to this one. I don't understand. The legs go up like so. I'm assuming this is the knee, so it's supposed to bend there. Ankle joint goes rocks like that. Nothing really up, nothing really down. I'm not gonna give him that. So I mean, how do I say it? It's as I expectedly thought it would be, which would be disappointing in certain things. But again, this is the reason why I almost canceled Devastator, but I went ahead and got him anyway because it's Devastator. It's the first combiner that we ever saw in Transformers. So I figured, you know what, in respects to the first combiner ever, I needed to get him, but I wasn't expecting anything out of these. I don't think I've ever gotten a combiner which is perfect in vehicle mode, perfect in robot mode, and perfect in Devastator mode. So let's transform this guy and see what he looks like in combiner mode. At least I'm hoping we'll see it. Bringing the arms in, we're gonna untab the false thing here, and then see this part right here, you want to bring that to the outside, and you're gonna see the inside part waffle here. That's perfect because then that allows you to put this tab into that slot and lock it in. Once you do that, there's another one here of a tab and a slot over here to lock that in as well. So we're just gonna do that on the other side as well. Unhook that part. Show this waffle over here, means that you're ready to tab that side there, and then to tab to this side here. So and then we'll just like open this up right now, bring it up to the front over here. We're gonna untab it from the waist. Oh, actually, it's untab it from here first, and then this one. Then we're gonna tab it from the waist, like so. And we're gonna put the feet together. Oops. Alright, so the next step is to collapse this from here. So it's gonna be like it's like whole like that. And then this, we're gonna bring this down again. We're gonna tab this into this part right here, like that, and then we're gonna go ahead and close this back in again. Now we're gonna bring out the heel spur again, and we're gonna do this, and then these will basically latch onto that. Bring it closer and bring it in. So now you're left with this look. And finally, we'll just pull out the chest over here so we can put back his head and close that in. But just make sure everything's nice and properly tabbed in and tight. And yeah, long hole is now done. So we hope we're gonna start off in vehicle mode. We're just gonna bring this down like so, and I already have that there, and I believe, let me just move this out of the way. This should lift, and we're gonna shift it off to the side so it's like that. And from there we can go ahead and lift up Devastator's head. I didn't realize that was his head, by the way. But yeah. So it looks like that. And from there, this is kind of an interesting engineering. I don't know how they came up with this one. So basically, these two, you're gonna crack it open. And you want to extend, this is, you can extend this one, and you're gonna extend this side as well too. Like that. Extend it like that as well. Then you're gonna flip it to the other side, and now you're gonna bring these two together on the other side, like this. There's a kind of like a tab hook to this slot over here, and combine it like so. This should be like that. Okay. And from here, just make sure you tab this in properly into the corresponding tabs here and here to these two slabs. Okay, so that's good. You're gonna rotate his head, and this one you just bring it up like so and bring his face out and bring it back down. We're gonna bring this down over here for now, and this one you gotta tab the forearm back to this part. And now we're supposed to bring out the connection ports. Bring this out. I think that's for the arm. This one is on a hinge, so open that up so you can bring this out. Is this really it for the arm? Man, that's kind of weak. And this one is a connecting port down here, and I think that might be it. Alright, so these two are now done, and we're gonna work on this guy. I don't know how these are usually can be put in here. I just I'm not gonna deal with that. What was I gonna do? I forgot. I think you're supposed to lift this whole thing out. There you go. Like so, and you're gonna extend it all the way down like so, and then we want to collapse, bend it at this hinge over here, and then this one goes down like this. There's a tab and a slot over there that you can connect this to. I think you can collapse this one too. Like so. Then you're gonna go to the underside, and apparently these two are supposed to merge together. As you can see, clip together like so. Alright, and then apparently these are the hip skirts for Devastator. You could do that. Bring this down. Bring this down. And I think that's pretty much it for the waist of Devastator. So now that we have the lower half or the waist part done, we're gonna connect this to long hole over here. So this whole thing is just gonna plug into this one. As you can see, there's a groove here that will correspond to these two slots over here, and there's a kind of like a little cup that will attach into this one. It's kind of tough. Let me just move this out of the way for a second. It's tough to align that groove to make sure it's in there. Oops, it split on me. Whee. That is tough, I tell you. There. Oop, came loose again. Had it and it came loose. Nope, it split on the bottom. It split again. Maybe I should try to squeeze it from the back and then align it, the groove. Yep, that's the best way. So squeeze it from the back. So let me take that out again. So what you want to do is push from here. So this is pushed in, and then the groove that was here will just slide in. Right there, see? That's the best way to do it. To do it the other way, it will split the two off. And then you're basically combining these two. There's these two slots that will go into this part right here. I wish this locked in a little bit better, but they're just there. I guess that's good enough, but it's slightly, I think it could be better. Like this one, it could be connected better, but that seems to be fairly secure. Make sure this is secure again. You just gotta make sure everything is secure here, still on long hole. Now we're gonna go ahead and attach hook over here. Hook has a lot of connections that basically correspond to each other. So the main ones will be, this purple one will go into here, this one will go into there, and this one I think goes into here, and I think this one goes into that. So I'm just gonna line it from the back to this one and to that, and push. And I'm looking at the connector in the back, making sure that's connected. I mean, like for this guy, you really want to make sure it's connected. And what's going on with this one? Apparently I have this too loose. Right, back one here. This got loose somehow. I can still see a gap over there, so that's not properly in. There you go. And there's still a gap in the back part over there, so let me see if I can push that in. Okay, that's good. Alright, yeah, just inspect your connections, make sure everything's nice and tight, because they all basically depend on one another for the stability of Devastator. It looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and go into, what's this guy's name? Scrapper or Bone Crusher? I can't remember. Take this guy out, remove this part right here. You're gonna put this in towards there. There's a hook over here that's supposed to connect these two spots over here. So when you bring the two grooves in, you're going to use that to secure the two halves together, like so. And then I believe and then you want to just rotate this this way. All right, that's your elbow. Is that right? Yeah. All right, so for Bone Crusher, I guess we're supposed to take one of these hands over here. Just gotta make sure I get the right hand, because he's supposed to go here. So I got this one. Let's see. I think it's this hand over here. Is that supposed to, like that? There's a post and a hole over here that combines the hand together. I really hope it combines better than that, because it's really loose on mine. There you go. Oops. And elbow, then twist the hand like so. And then this just slides into the groove over here for the arm. And make sure you push it in until it locks in like so. And there's a tab and a slot over here to lock it in. So mine's not, I can tell it's not all the way down yet because it's not meeting the slab, so push it in some more, I guess. Okay, just keep pushing it in, because I didn't have it completely all the way down. And you can tell because the tab over here that's supposed to go into the slot is all the way not aligned. So now that it is aligned, I'm just gonna go and push it in. The other way too that you can tell it's properly pushed in is, like, see how this thing is now aligned with this part. And that's for the arm of Devastator. So now we're gonna work on this chest piece. I kind of showed you in the beginning how to put the chest piece in, so it shouldn't be a problem. There's these two slots over here will go into this one over here. Then this one will go to that one, and then these two will grip to the side of that one. So we'll work off on the side here and sort of connect it here in the middle. And then have it squeeze into the chest. So the cool thing about this is that it connects this one securely to this more. You just gotta make sure it's pushed in as much as you can. And then of course this combines these two together, so that's good. And then finally it clips into that one. So now where I was before, I was kind of hesitating on how secure this part of Devastator is, the connection here and here to the front secures this part, so it's not moving when you're playing with this arm completely. And I can tell you right now, I'm kind of disappointed with how this thing works only as friction. There's no ratchet whatsoever into the arm. That's very disappointing. So we're gonna deal with Scrapper now. This one, just bring this here. I don't even know why we had to mess around with that one. Anyway, so and then we bring this up. And then we're gonna untab these two arms here, because we're gonna use these as heel spurs. Flip it over here and tab it on the other side, like so. Yeah, and then I think we're supposed to turn it like this. Yeah, that just doesn't seem stable, so it's kind of weird that they had it do like that. And then they say put out the arms for more stability. Yeah, I can see that. Right, what else? Are supposed to twist this one back again. Then split the legs, because we're gonna get ready for combination. Now Scrapper, from what I've been told, connects to this side of Devastator, but just for stability's sake, I'm gonna put him on this side for now. I think it's possible to do it that way. We'll see. Oh no, it's not, because this specifically goes for him and this is missing right now. Okay, so Scrapper, ooh, he's heavy. I mean, like, it's kind of heavy. This goes in like that. Then this one goes, connects up here, I think, right? Okay, it looks like I did that incorrectly, or the way it's supposed to do. You want to do the inside first, so you can slide him easier, like that. Once you have him in, then you basically use this to close him up, like so. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. There's Devastator. So there are a few things right now, I'm telling you, that I'm not really pleased with when it comes to the bottom part of Devastator. And before I show you the totality of Devastator, I want to point that out. So this is kind of heavy, but most importantly, all of the weight of this object to this foot is resting on this, right? But this is connected only through here. Look at how easily that comes off. So I suppose, oh, that's why this thing, this small part right here that I didn't know was why we was doing that. So this part connects here, but make sure you use this to hook it back underneath here. That's gonna lock in this thing, because if you don't, this is gonna keep falling out. The other thing that I don't know if it's, you know, good or not, is that there's some sort of bend here. As you can see, it's bending it. and it should be straight like that. I don't think that's a functional bend because I'm pretty sure the knee is up here. So you see how it just keeps on popping out on me. All right, so let me go ahead and change camera view, and we'll look at Devastator the proper way. All right, so please forgive me. I had to use some sort of gimmick for the one leg over there because we can't make him stand. So I mean, Devastator is like bigger than the rest of the combiners, which I can be okay with. Visually, what I would criticize is I really don't like how this is offset to the side. It just, I mean, like I would have preferred if this was a little bit more inward, so this is in the middle rather than off to the side over here. I can kind of understand why they did it, because then you will have an issue with the spacing here. We still don't know what's going on with Mixmaster over here. Haha, one of the names of the Constructicons I actually remember, Mixmaster, because it's a mixer. Anyway, also, man, there's so many things that I was hoping for more. I guess these comments should be once it's completed, right? But I just want to add it in right now because it's easily it's easily observed, right? The comparisons between the two. Listen to this. You hear that ratchet? Yeah, it's soft, but it's there. That's not in Devastator. Devastator only has a loose thing. It's holding, but it's just like, why isn't there a ratchet there? Yeah, it's the like this. I know they were kind of cheating with Superion and Menasor because of the way this thing's constructed as a separate piece, and they didn't do that with Devastator. But still, it just feels so empty here. We'll talk about it some more. I think it's unfair for me to criticize Devastator at this point. I think he's heavier. Yeah, he would have to be, right? Because he's got 6 components while the rest of the combiners only have 5. But yeah. Anyway, this is supposed to be a review of Long Haul and Hook. Yeah, for $89. So for $89, yes, there was a lot of stuff going on with that one. The extra cabinet. I mean, is it? Man, this is tough. This is tough. Technically, Long Haul and Hook, and with that extra trailer, it's actually technically 3 Transformers in there. Even though the trailer is technically the rest of the whole piece, right? So it would amount to 30 for Long Haul, 30 for Hook, 30 for the trailer. And for that price, then I would suggest that base price of 10 equaling to 30, 30, 30 for each component. The value I would assimilate, I would say it's 10. I really wasn't expecting much in terms of the vehicle mode. I wasn't expecting much on the robot mode. We kind of know going in that those two are going to be the weakest. I bought this for the Devastator mode. I bought this for the combiner mode. So I'm gonna give it a value of 10, price 10, equaling to $90, or 30 for each component of Long Haul, Hook, and the trailer. So that's it for my review of Long Haul and Hook. Yes, I'm sorry you're seeing Devastator over here. It seems some unfair, but I mean, like, of course I had to see it. I'm so excited to just finish it. But we won't be receiving the final 2 components at least on schedule. supposedly until November. But that's it for my review. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys again in my next review. When these combiners are done, I will do a final review of them as combiners, to see if it's worth it or not. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in my next review. Bye.